Hello, everyone. My name is Christian, and welcome to my hobby blog. Today, we are going to do episodes 86 to 98 of the animated Batman series. We're on season 3, so I guess this is episodes 1 to 26 or 27, whatever the count is, of season 3. But overall, of all 3 seasons, we're on episode 86. And we'll be done after, not this episode, but the very next one, which is very exciting. But before we get into that, I wanted to welcome back Cultflixfix24. Welcome back. How are you?
Thanks, Christian, for always having me. It's always a blast, and I'm doing good, man. Just ready to get on this last season and get this going. It's been I wouldn't say lengthy, but just a process to get through. But no,
Yeah,
overall, it's been good.
awesome. Yeah, I always get a chuckle when I'm starting a new disc, like we've been doing. And I'm like, oh, it's like 13 episodes a disc. And season 2 was so easy. I mean, it was 10 episodes each that we had to do, I think. But that was like really easy. It was like one disc, bam, done. And season 1 had like, what, 5 or 6 discs? It had like 60 episodes or something. So that's why it's kind of shocking that we're already in season 3 with only one disc left after this. And we're done. And we're back to Withering Watchpile. I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's always fun to do series. I mean, they're good, but they could be like lengthful and timing wise. But once we get to movies, I mean, it should roll a little smoother. And yeah, I'm excited to get back to our Withering Watch Pile episodes and see what we come up with next.
Oh, yeah, especially with our secret changes that we are doing, which I'm very excited for. But it'll make the show even better, I think. But back to Batman.
Yes.
I am in charge of the first half. I don't have any new behind the scenes anything. I mean, we're closing up the show at this point. We have one disc after this, so uh, unless they have something in the intro credits like they do with, I don't know, Criterion releases or Era Video, where they say this episode was done or this movie was done at this time and the film reel was lost and it was recovered in a Norwegian mental asylum closet, which actually happened for, I think, Vampire, the 1932 movie, which you got on the Criterion cell. So I
Yep.
can't wait to hear your thoughts on it. But so unless something like that happens on one of these episodes, I have no idea if there's anything new for this season. But my first episode is episode 80. Did we want to talk about overall what we thought of this disc, or should we just jump right in?
I I have a couple things just to say that
Okay.
what changed me on this is like a it changed. I noticed characters are different. They look different. Their illustrations and Batman has a new suit. It's
Yep.
black and gray. It's not the blue and one. And yeah, it's there's like a dip in here. It's different feel to it, but I enjoyed it. I like change, so that was good for me.
Yeah, it was really nice. I forgot to even mention that, but yeah, he has a new suit, and that was a suit that I know because growing up, I was Batman a few times, and that was the suit that I always dressed up as was the yellow and gray. So that was fun to see that in the credits. I was like, hey, I dressed up in that, but
Yeah,
it definitely kept it fresh for me. And
yeah,
now I feel like we went to, I don't want to say we went through it too fast, but now that we're towards the end, I'm like, wow, we kind of went through it quickly because we did a lot more per episode than the Satuichi series, for example. But yeah, I'm trying to think anything else. It was a lot less.
that's all I got.
Yeah, this disc was a lot less random. It felt like it didn't give any particular spotlights for any villains because I think last time there was so many like Joker episodes and Clayface. I think there were like two villains that we really focused on. This time, every episode has a group of them, and it's never one villain. So I really like that. I'm trying to think anything
Same
else
with
real quick.
superheroes too. They're like in groups.
Yeah.
You haven't seen that much. Like you see this season, but
Yeah.
I like the change. That's different. Mm,
Yep. So
But
episode 86 is called Holiday Nights. So it's a holiday one. Most likely Joker is involved because the first episode of the entire show was not that. Never mind. I think it was like episode 2 or 3 was the Joker winter episode in season 1. Is Joker's first episode at least. Not the first episode of the whole show, but uh, it made me think of that. Joker's first appearance on the show was a winter one, and now for the final season, they brought that back. I don't know if that was intentional, but it's fun. I like it. And we basically have 3 holiday themed vignettes. So we have like 3 short stories in a single episode. So each one's about 6.5 minutes or so, because each episode is 20 minutes. But the first one is all about Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn kidnapping Bruce Wayne and using his credit card to go on a shopping spree. And then in a separate story, we have while shopping for a gift for her father, Barbara Gordon spots a group of shoplifters that turn out to be portions of Clayface. That one was obviously my favorite of the section. I really like that one. And then we have the third vignette, which is Batman and Robin race to stop the Joker from killing the crowd at the Gotham City New Year celebration. That one was quite good. And the reaction notes that I have written here is that I thought that Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy together was a lot of fun. It was really funny. They have a lot of really cute moments where they see eye to eye, which is really nice because I like when villains work together and can actually understand each other, and it's not just hey, we both are villains, we both hate Batman, let's gang up. And this one is like, hey, let's go shopping, let's have fun. It's fun. And again, it's 3 stories in one episode in a pretty short span of time. And so each one is just like, it's like a scene or two. And it's really nice, it's quick. It was really nice. I enjoyed it quite a lot. The Clayface one, again, is obviously my favorite one because I love Clayface, which I guess must be a surprise to everybody that Clayface is such a major for me because everyone loves Joker and everyone else, but Clayface, it is fun. It's a villain I didn't know existed, so maybe that's why I like him so much. But there's a part where a kid is sitting with Santa and giving his wish list for Christmas. And Clayface is Santa. And he's the kid just keeps going while there's this huge, what's it called? A very tense situation breaks out. And all the adults in the room are freaking out. This kid's crying. This kid is like, I want a horse. I want a car. I want a this. I want a that. And he's just keeps going and going. And finally the Santa leaves. And then Joker comes in as Santa. And he starts asking oh, what do you want for Christmas? And it's fun. It's what I expect from a vignette with, holiday themed vignettes. It's new. It's not Batman trying to get to Joker's hideout in a snow-capped mountain, which is the first episode that we have with the Joker. So it's fun. I said that this must have been a flashback episode because Robin is 12 or 13 years old in this. I don't know the timeline, but I guess it's a flashback to pre college Robin. So pretty fun. Joker gets fucked up by a bell at the end. A giant bell falls off the clock tower and slams on him. It's pretty funny. Overall, I really like this episode. What about you?
Yeah, I liked it, and I liked how it's unique. Like how you said, it's in segments, different stories. Thought that was different. That route they went. I really got excited when Kid Robin because I watched the animated movies, and it's a later story. It's like when I guess Robin turns to Nightwing,
Hmm.
and then the Kid Robin takes over, and he's like a son to Batman. So it's pretty cool.
Oh,
It's
I
like
never connected that they were the same person.
yeah, no, it's actually a story of like Robin growing up and becoming the original Robin, which is I think Dick,
Oh,
and he
Dick. Okay.
yeah, he's grown up now and he hands the reign over to Robin.
Did I miss
But
that?
it's a little diff. It's I know that because I watched the animated movies. It explains it more in
Okay.
those,
I
but
guess
not as
I
much in
guess we
this.
do need to
Yeah,
watch that eventually because it comes with the
yeah,
box set. So,
it's cool though to see Kid Robin. He's the future, like pretty much
ooh,
of them. But that's really what got me excited for this episode when I saw that as a Batman fanboy that I am.
hey, I can say I'm a fan now. I've seen most of the episodes, which I don't think
Yeah.
many people have since they were kids. So, I have the
Yeah.
credential.
Yeah, it's I like this episode a lot. I thought it was a good holiday one to watch in December. You could
Oh yeah,
revisit it, get that Christmas feel in it. But yeah, I'm with you on this one. Enjoyed it.
cool. Well, episode 87 is called "Sins of the Father," and this one's actually kind of funny to me. So the quick storyline for this is that young orphan Tim Drake becomes Batman's new ward when he becomes involved in one of Two-Face's deadly plots. It's pretty vague, but I mean, it's a Batman episode. Is exactly what you're gonna expect, but the intro music to this episode really threw me off, and it made me laugh once I realized why. It's because the intro music starts off and it sounds exactly like Kidnap Mr. Santa Claus from Nightmare Before Christmas. And I was like, wow, that's like really funny. Like, I guess they came out around this time, and I was like, wait a minute. Danny Elfman did the soundtrack for Nightmare Before
Hmm.
Christmas. Okay, like, now I know why it sounds exactly the same, because it's the same guy. He did the music for both the Batman series and the TV show, yeah. Along with not Nightmare on Elm Street, Nightmare Before Christmas. And it just made me laugh because I was like, oh, I like this music. This is great. And then I was like, why? It threw me off, made me laugh once I realized why. But there's an explosion at some point of the episode. I think about a quarter of the way through, when Batman first gets taken out of commission, and the explosion is absolutely insane. The animation for it, there's a lot of movement, a lot of colors, and a lot of color mixing going on. It's really cool. I feel like that was a segment that they took a lot of time on to animate and to draw because it was very visually striking. So much so that I wrote it down. I don't do that often anymore with these episodes because they have to look really good for me to notice, and that was one of them. So I appreciated that. I'm trying to think anything else. There's an intense airplane hijacking scene that is really cool. And then we have a great reveal where the kid's father is actually a big criminal, and the son is a copycat criminal. So he's just following in the footsteps of his father, trying to prove himself. And he thinks he can be better than his father, which is always a unique spin on a villain origin story. Is always somebody being a victim of whatever slight is going on is pushes them to become a villain. This one is like, no, I can do it better, and let me do it, and he is better. So I really enjoyed this episode. And there's even a scene in the movie where they go to the theater, or they're talking about going to the theater, and they're like, "Oh, it's the Janus Theater," and I was like, "Hey, Janus," because Janus, of course, is the parent company of the Criterion Collection. They're in charge of the programming at the New York Theater, whichever major one, and they do a lot of the restoration for, I think, everybody. Because Criterion has collaborated with like Studio Canal and Era Video now with the new Bruce Lee 4K set, because they did the restoration, I believe, for most of those movies. So it was fun to see the Janus Theater as the boutique Blu-ray guy that I am. And I love that Batman, after not after the episode, but at the end of the episode, he's like, "You know what, kid? Join my superhero group." So he takes him under his bat wing. Thought of that pun after the episode, but takes him under his wing. So that was fun. It's not often that we get such a major story kind of plot beat, I don't know, event in an episode where that will happen, and then now he's part of the team. He's been in other episodes too, I think. So that's about all I have for that episode. I was pretty not lukewarm, but it was good, average, I guess.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you. I thought it was an average episode, entertaining enough to keep you focused. But yeah, this is a good story. I like origin stories. I like the background of him. I like when he calls Two-Face Puke Face. Thought that was hilarious. I wrote that down. He's all, "Hey, Puke Face," he tells him. Gets him pissed off. But yeah, this is a good one. I like how they're the training they're training at the end. They're like training him, Bruce Wayne, and we get that view of older Robin when he walks in, Dick, at the end.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, "Man, he's just looking at him like proud. He's like he's passing the reign on to this kid. I just like that. I was like, because I watched animated movies, like I said, and the young Robin's actually Batman's son. It's a son he didn't know he had, and I don't want to spoil it, but it's and I guess he's a playboy. I guess he had that kid without knowing or whatever, and while this is different, he's bringing a guy off the streets to help him. It's a different take on it, but yeah, it's just good to see older Dick, the old Robin, becoming Nightwing, because I've been infatuated with that story for some reason. But
I had no idea that ever happened in the comics or the show or the movies. I always thought they were two totally different people.
No, there's actually story to it. If you watch the animated movies, you'll see how it brings little Robin on to pretty much take the reign of older Robin.
Isn't Nightwing in the Watchmen? Or am I thinking of someone else? It's like Nighthawk or Nightwing.
I haven't seen the Watchmen in a while, so
yeah, it's been a very long time for me. But
I kind of forgot, but it's possible. I'm not gonna say rule it out or anything.
That'd be funny to have a Nightwing from Watchmen cameo and a Zack Snyder DC superhero movie, because Zack Snyder, of course, also did Watchmen.
Yeah.
But that's why I was wondering, because Zack Snyder, I guess, already did a DC movie before he became the DC guy. So cool.
Yep.
I didn't realize that till just now. But anything else about episode 87?
Nah, that's all I got.
Cool. So episode 88 is called Cold Comfort. Obviously, this episode is about Mr. Freeze, and he wants revenge and threatens to destroy everything that Batman loves in life. And there's a really funny part right in the beginning where there's a woman with a freezer gun, and she's like freezing things. and it gives me a lot of Arnold Schwarzenegger vibes, because I know he plays Mr. Freeze, and he says like, I'm gonna cause an ice age, and everyone makes fun of his lines. I need to watch it still, but I was thinking of him doing that because that's how I know him in the series. And Mr. Freeze says like, I'm gonna cause an ice age, and she goes, hey, that's my line. And they kind of bicker about it, and they're like, come on, like, I'm Mr. Freeze, you're not, you're just a thug, whatever. I thought that was kind of funny. And then after that, someone else says like, hey, Freeze. And that's what he says. And she says, hey, that's my line. I think a cop says it. And she freezes him because she's like, how dare you, that's my line. Okay, I won't remember now. But I said, holy crap, Mr. Freeze messed up a entire lifetime's work of art and was about to kill a dog, but a batarang deflected it. I guess his freeze weapon. No, the batarang hits the freeze gun and it doesn't kill the dog. And it turns a giant kind of table or something at the museum, and there's a table like champagne and whatever, and Mr. Freeze's gun is deflected away from the dog he was about to kill, and it goes to this table and turns into a giant ice cube. And so, funny, Friezo. It's basically a freezer for the drinks. So it made me laugh. There's a lot of ice and cold sort of puns throughout this episode. I said this was a really cool episode that was focused on Freeze. It's not as cool as his, not behind the scenes, but background origin episode, which I think we both really, really enjoyed from the first, maybe the second disc, maybe the third disc at the latest. But it was really early on when we had that really awesome Freeze background episode. But it is funny. At one point towards the end, there's a kid that Batman is saving. And the kid is like, hey, Batman, how come you're not following the laws and you're acting outside the law? And he doesn't really have an answer for it. And I thought that was funny. Because, I mean, that's the first time anybody in the show really has been direct to Batman, being like, hey, you're a vigilante. Why are you doing all this? Kind of illegal. And he's like, oh, whatever. And he goes on doing whatever he wants. Pretty good episode overall. I would say average.
Yeah, I enjoyed this one as well. I always like Mr. Freeze as a villain, and yeah, it does have that humor that you explained there. I really like that. What else is, like you said, it does go with, like, I thought the same thing, like Arnold Schwarzenegger right away when you see Mr. Freeze and the one-liners from the movie and stuff. But this is a cool episode, and it's kind of dark because there's a scene where Mr. Freeze, they have Batman and Batgirl, I think, captured in his lair, and he comes out like a spider, like a robotic spider. He has like no body, and I'm like, what the,
I forgot to mention
fuck?
that.
And he's like, I just found that like kind of like a horror movie. He just comes out and his whole body's just like disintegrating or whatever. I don't know what to call it, but it's I just, that freaked me out. And then his like head just crawls into his body. It's like a robotic body, and he's all, now I know why you said it's too late for you or whatever they tell him. And I just, it shows you that dark world we get through Gotham and Batman. It could turn into like horrific stuff. But yeah, it's real. This episode was good too. I'd put it at above average.
Now that you have mentioned Mr. Freeze Spider-Man, hey, I didn't mean to say Spider-Man, but now that you mentioned that, yeah, I'll put it above average because I totally forgot about that, and I was like, hey, I thought of The Thing, another Frozen related property, so that was fun. I also thought of Star Wars Episode 2 when they are in whatever it's not Tatooine, but it's one of the desert planets, and they get in the entire movie's awful. I don't like it. I get why people like it. It's not for me. I don't care for it. But they're in that gladiator battle, and they have that giant spider creature robot thing that is like shooting out. I can't remember, but I thought of that in the thing. So, but that's about all I have for that episode.
Those are good comparisons. That's what I could get that out of it. This one's dark. I like dark. That's why I go into that Gotham world. But yeah, not above average episode. That's all I got to.
Cool. Well, episode 89 is called Double Talk. And this one, Arnold Resker, who is an amazing character, is released from Arkham Asylum, completely free of his Scarface persona. So this is Scarface, one of the coolest villains who I never heard of before doing this series. And he... But Scarface's old gang, needing the old boss back, began working to drive Resker back to his old ways. There's a really trippy and weird beginning to this movie, where he is losing his mind in Arkham Asylum, and there is just so much weird imagery going on, and he's constantly just running upstairs, but he's not going anywhere, so he's like, come on, gotta go, and he's just standing there. And they zoom out, and it's like really trippy. There's balloons floating by, and Pennywise, I'm sure, was just off screen, but they didn't have the copyright to have his image. Yeah. But that's what I thought of in the balloon section. I was just waiting for what's his name? The actor is Bill Skarsgård, but he was also in John Wick 4. And the entire movie, I was like, Bill Skarsgård, you're great, but I only see Pennywise. You are so distinct as Pennywise. But
they all float down here.
Yes, they do. Until John Wick shoots everybody up. But there's some really great visuals during that scene. I said, oh my gosh, how fun. He is employed at Wayne Enterprises after being released from jail or prison. And I thought that was really cool, because not often does Batman extend a helping hand to any of the villains. Because every time he does so, they always go back to the old ways. And he's like, gotta defeat them again. And this is exactly the same sort of situation, which is getting a little old for me, of them being like, I'm done with crime, and they get out. I mean, Harley Quinn has had multiple episodes, and Poison Ivy. Them two together have had a few episodes where they are just, we're done being bad guys or bad gals, and we're going to live an honest life, and they do so pretty well. And then there's always something that brings them back. I'm getting kind of tired of that story. It's like, okay, I get it, fine. We're on episode 89, at least this specific episode. It's bound to happen again, but we're almost done, so I won't complain too much about it. But, yeah. There is a tragic moment when Scarface comes back, and Wesker is just, like, wailing on the ground and, like, pounding his fist against the floor. And he's like, no! Just, like, screaming. I don't know who the voice actor is, but I think he had a lot of, practice, because it sounded pretty terrible. Because he hasn't heard Scarface, his puppet, in quite a while in the episode. I want to say it's halfway through the episode before he comes back. And he's like, not Scarface, the puppet, but Arnold Resker. He is in his apartment just walking around. He's like, oh my gosh, something bad is about to happen. I don't know what. And then you start hearing, like, strings. You start hearing, like, sound designs of a puppet. And he's like, oh no, is that what I think it is? And then you hear Scarface say hello. And he's like, no. And it's really dramatic and great. really great editing in this episode. I said it reminded me of a De Palma movie where you have the split screen, and we also have the really quick editing during the more scary sections. I'm thinking of the end of Blow Up, Blow Up, not Blowout. Blowout is the original '60s movie, but which I haven't seen. But the not Diane, Brian De Palma, that one when it's like getting crazy, the editing picks up. There's more or takes with than every edit. Yeah. So that was fun. I said this was a pretty sweet episode, above average easily. I really enjoyed this. Scarface is a really unique villain that again had no idea about until we started this series. So it's fun finding all these weird, unique villains that I never knew about. So, what about you?
Yeah, I always enjoy episodes with a Scarface. I like that villain, and I'd never heard of him until we started watching these. So
Mm.
it's it's really unique. And it's kind of weird because I just watched like Magic with Anthony Hopkins. I watched that on Shutter where he has a
Hmm.
ventriloquist controlling him.
Oh,
It
is that a
reminded me
recent?
exactly of this. It's from the 70s, I think. That
Oh, okay.
Magic. It's Anthony Hopkins, and it's the same story. It's a ventriloquist.
Hmm.
Where he has multiple personalities, and watching that movie and then this, I'm like, wow, this is like it's impressive. And you
Oh,
get
Richard
different
Attenborough.
kind of yeah. That I highly recommend Magic if you haven't seen that. It's on Shutter. Um,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch it.
uh, that's what it reminded me of this episode, and like I go back to my fears are ventriloquist dummies since I was a kid. I won't have one in my room because they just terrify me. But uh, I
Just
used
like
to watch the old
Poltergeist.
Alfred Hitchcock. I used to watch the old Alfred Hitchcock show, the black and white one, and they
Oh
had a
yeah.
ventriloquist story, which just creeped me out as a kid. So I've always had like a fear of those. Like I'd run out of the living room when I saw one of those when I was little. Like it's, I don't know, it's just a as a horror fan, I'm interested, but then it gives me that fright and those kind of things. But yeah, I after watching, like I said, that movie Magic and this, they go hand to hand. So it's
Hmm.
a lot of entertainment for me. So I'd put this episode above average for me. Enjoyed it.
Awesome. Yeah. For some reason, I had the image of Dead Silence, that cover, on for Magic. I just looked it up on Letterboxd, and I was like, hey, like I've seen this movie like somehow, like before, the imagery of it. And when you said 1970s, I was like, ooh, I wonder if this episode was a direct, uh, not, I guess, adaptation of it. Loose adaptation, I guess. Soft reboot, as we would say nowadays in the 2010s. I guess 2020s, but 2010s was
Yeah.
the era of soft reboots. I wonder
Yeah.
if this was kind of like a foreshadowing of that.
It could be. Yeah, that's what I got out of it watching it. I was like, man, this is magic. Just put in an animation cartoon, a little
Mm-hmm.
more tame, then they can go on it. But still, still entertaining. I like that trope of like a ventriloquist and controlling you with multiple personalities. I think that's a good and creepy idea for a film
Mm-hmm.
or slash show.
So, episode 90, You Scratch My Back. In an effort to further distance himself from Batman, Nightwing tries to go it alone to stop a smuggling ring and gets unexpected help from the seductive Catwoman, who attempts to somewhat who attempts somewhat sens- what who attempts a somewhat sensual relationship with him. Sorry, the copy and paste wasn't working. So it's a Nightwing episode. I guess I had no idea that I was supposed to know who he was, but I said there's a really great fight scene with Nightwing early on in the episode that looks and sounds exactly like the intro to every episode. It kind of threw me off. I had to write it down. It was really the only thing I wrote down about this episode. I said it was pretty average, but that fight scene alone I thought was really good. Catwoman, she's exactly who she is in this episode, as she always is. There's nothing new, nothing exciting. Average episode. That was a very fast summary, but I had nothing for this.
This is actually the one I had the less notes for too. I wasn't too entertained. I'm with you on average. The villain was, I mean, it wasn't too interesting. He had a hook on his hand.
Oh, I don't even remember that.
I remember the hook, but I wrote down here average villain right next to it, so I'm like, I like the Batmobile. You see the Batmobile, and it's more stylized. I did like that in this episode, but other than that, I'm with you. Average. It's very few notes on it myself.
Okay, so episode 91, Never Fear. This one's awesome because it's Scarecrow, which is like one of my favorite villains. So the Scarecrow develops a new toxin that, rather than inducing fear, eliminates it, making average people incredibly reckless and dangerous, including Batman. It is now up to Robin to save his mentor and foil Scarecrow's plot. Loved this episode, probably my favorite one. And the most shocking part of it is that the episode ended, and I was just kind of not browsing, but staring at the credits, and there were only 3 voice actors total for this entire episode.
Oh wow!
This is a very not small scale episode, but a very focused episode, which I really like. I love focused episodes. But there's a really weird beginning with a laughing dude who is hitting the New York City advertisement lights. And he's like, ah, ha, ha, ha. And he's like, bam, just like smacks right against like the LED screen. And like showers of sparks fly off the screen. And everyone's like, what's going on up there? And they're looking at him. And I thought he just died. I thought it was like a robot, like trying to take over, and Joker's face was going to come up. I really thought that was going to happen, and I'm shocked it hasn't. If it hasn't already, and I probably forgot if it did happen. But I'd love to see that. What's his face? Joker doing the hacking the advertisements and having his big face at the New York City Times Square. That's what I'm looking for. Times Square. I'd love to see a
Joker. It's called Gotham Square.
Oh, that's Gotham Square.
Yeah. I saw that. I was laughing out loud.
Oh yeah, I missed that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But one thing that I wrote down here, which made me kind of laugh because I was shocked at how much flashing there was. I said, I would like to warn people who are sensitive to flashing lights to not watch the intro to this episode. Because, oh my gosh, it is absolutely insane. I am not too sensitive to light. I'm pretty okay with it. The only one that gave me a headache was Gaspar Noé's, not Vortex.
I was just going to bring up one of his films.
Lux Eterna. Lux Eterna is the only one that really made me have a headache in terms of the flashing lights in that one. But this one was pretty close because it's all white and gray lights, I think, because he's smacking into the advertisements. But yeah, don't watch that intro if you're sensitive, or if you're photosensitive, I believe is the term. But because oh my god, my eyes were in pain. So just a fair warning for that. Yeah, because the telephone wire disconnects from the power line and it hits the ground, like right beside a big crowd. And everybody goes, ah, my eyes. And he goes, bzz, 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 like right in your face. Okay, that's right. That was a later note that I wrote down after my warning. So, I lost my spot. Scarecrow's is pretty menacing in this one, scolding his underlings to not lose patience. The people who are under his care, patience, not losing his patience, because he's pretty impatient in this episode. But there's a crazy patient later in this episode that is really weird, and he straight up sexually assaults a woman because he shows up and he's like, "Oh, Bruce Wayne, I'm the best employee ever. You should hire me." And he's like, "I don't know you. You're weird. Get out of my face." And he's like, "And woman, secretary, I've always had a crush on you. Let me kiss you." And he like straight up grabs her, brings her to his body, and is like smooching all over her. And she's like, "Ew, no, ew, stop." And I'm like, "Why is this in here? It's not funny." There's no other reason why it's in here, because they are trying to play it off as, oh, that crazy man. He has no fear, so he's kissing women. Like, okay, whatever. But that was... I didn't like it, but whatever. 1990s, I'll chalk it up to that. 30 years ago.
Yeah.
There's a really cool monster reveal in this one that I can't remember as I say it now, but I wrote it down, so I guess it was pretty awesome. There was cool music during that. Batman fights a crocodile, and blood goes everywhere in the water, and you're supposed to think it's Batman, but Batman is still alive. I was surprised that they had an animal death in this episode. Felt like I was watching Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah, I was gonna say that Cannibal Holocaust.
Felt like I was watching Ruggero Deodato.
Yeah,
It made me
this is an
crack up.
Italian episode.
Yeah. Wait, am I still doing Italian horror? What am I doing?
Yeah.
But that was a really funny section of the episode, because he gets grabbed by the crocodile and they're like boxing underwater, and then you see the crocodile open its jaws really wide and it's about to bite on Batman, and Batman goes, "Ah!" And it's commercial credits, of course, or commercial break, and it comes back and you see the blood like pulling out in the water. And you're like, "Oh my god, Batman just died," but obviously not. The crocodile did. And it was a lot of blood. And it was pretty funny. Batman is totally okay. It's revealed that Batman is now affected by the opposite drug to not make you scared anymore. And he almost kills himself and Robin flying his plane through the city. And Robin is like, "Okay, I'm going to take over now. I'm going to ride the bat plane, I guess it's called. I don't know, bat jet." But this is a really cool line by Batman. I said it was actually pretty awesome. "Death is death. Who cares who delivers it?" He said that to like a villain. Yeah. I was like, damn, Batman. So pretty Robin dark. Saves the day, thankfully, because Batman's not doing anything. Although he does recognize that he is under the effect, and he's like, "This will make me better." And actually it doesn't. So that was cool. I said I love this episode. Yeah, it's a Scarecrow episode. I mean, they're my favorite episodes. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I'm with you. This is a good episode. I liked it. Scarecrow. I like that gas, whatever you're saying there, the fear gas or whatever. Mm-hmm. I like how it takes over. Batman's dark. I think he could actually have killed in this episode without even knowing it when he's under that. Yeah, I like the way the Scarecrow looked too. They kind of upgraded his look. Kind of looks like he would be on an Iron Maiden shirt like yours or something. But
what can I say?
Yeah, this was a fun episode. I like the upgrade to. I think this was my favorite upgrade character on the illustration was Scarecrow. He looks like I was watching a Creep Show episode or something like that. It gives you that Greg Nicotero feel to it.
Oh, Savini. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, That's all I got on this. I really enjoyed it. Scarecrow's always a plus on an episode.
Oh yeah. My final episode is episode 92, Joker's Millions. I guess it's my observation at the beginning of the episode about how the villains are really spread out. They are, because Joker was in I guess the second episode of this disc, and didn't show up again till the, I guess, seventh episode. So, interesting observation that I just made. Crime boss Edward King Barlow dies, and in his will leaves his arch rival, the Joker, a large fortune of $250 million. The Joker immediately goes on a shopping spree, even searching for a replacement for Harley Quinn, but realizes too late that almost all of the money is fake, as a Joker borrows to trick him. That aspect of the storyline I didn't like, because I thought Joker was being really stupid, thinking that he was actually getting this money. He had the money on hand and never checked it, because on it is the face of this guy, and he's like, oh, haha, like, fuck you, Joker. Did you think I was going to give you this money? And Joker's like, I can't believe it. I thought I was going to get the money. And I was like, did you really think that? Like, you didn't look at the money? Because when he finds it out, he's like, open that bag. Oh my gosh. And a different thug over here is like, oh my god, there's no money in here either. And someone else is like, oh my gosh, no money in here. And I'm like, didn't y'all do that when the money showed up? So aside from that, that was the only really issue I had. I said the intro is really exciting. Joker and Harley Quinn have a shootout. I love that Joker gets a whole detailed news report after he goes on a life fix with his $250 million. He's like investing. He's buying up real estate. Like, he's doing all sorts of things. And he decides, oh, I'm going to get a new sidekick. And Harley Quinn is in jail. And she's like really pissed off. And she's like, I need to get back to Joker. And she's given this newspaper, and she reads it, and it's like, Joker is looking for new henchwoman. And she's like, no! And like rips open the newspaper, and it's fun. There's a really funny part because it's tax season. Taxes are due on Tuesday, for those who don't know. I've already done mine. So
Got mine done.
Yeah, months ago, I get that shit done.
Me too.
Because I don't want to worry about it. Funny part where the IRS comes after the Joker. Thought that was really timely. And his money is totally fake. This is when they realize that it's fake. And I'm like, okay, should have done that ahead of time. You're too trusting, Joker. Which is a weird statement to say, because Joker is not trusting at all. He will kill anybody at the drop of a hat, literally. I said it was a pretty fun episode overall. I would say it's average. It's good, but it's average. You're getting what you usually get, so.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's an average episode. It's funny because like how the IRS gets him, and he's like, I have a quote here. He said, he's like, I'm crazy enough to take on Batman, but not the IRS. I thought that was hilarious. Where he sets that one line up. I was like, oh no, man, only the Joker could have that kind of humor. But yeah, I get what you're saying. It's kind of dumb that he didn't check the money, like have a clown accountant or something going through it or something.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah, like, even if it's a joke, but what do you expect when he's his rival and he's sending him money? Why?
Yeah, because right away he's like, oh, I hate this guy, and this guy hates me. Why did he leave me in the will? And I'm like, it's a trick.
It's like, a trick, man. You can see it coming. But
I'm trying to think who would be his clown, like, lawyer or clown accountant. I'm trying to think, like, because in my head I was like, ooh, Scarface would be a good one. Well, it's not the guy holding Scarface. He's not the guy. but it's Scarface. He's like channeling like any money uh, advice he can get from his puppet. Like that'd be funny. His puppet's
Yeah,
dressed up as a clown. I don't know, but
the Mad Hatter
oh,
doing
that'd be a good
tricks
Mad Hatter
going
would.
through. Yeah,
That'd be a good one. Yeah.
he has the money floating, just counting it. Yeah, this one's average. I agree with you. It's an average episode for Joker. But yeah, that's all I got on this one. I don't got too much on this one at all.
Yeah, that's all I have. That was my final episode, so it's balls in your court.
Oh, it's going my way. Yeah. So we're going to the second half here. um, I do not know the episode. I lost count. So
Oh, sorry.
sorry.
93.
93.
Yes.
Episode 93. I think. Growing Pains, not the show either.
I was gonna make that joke too. Keep stealing my
have to
jokes.
have to come up with a cringe here. We got young Robin back. He's pretty much finds this little girl. She's pretty much like a spitting image of what he was, like broke on the streets, pretty much wearing rags. You could tell she don't have money. Um, it's a mystery with this one, but he feels for this girl. He kind of like sees himself in her, so he's trying to like protect her and take care of her. And at the same time, we got this. She says this man's chasing her, and he's like a menacing looking guy. He's stops at nothing. He's trying to protect her, but this man's just out strengthening him and tossing him around. But there's a real mystery behind this girl, and he continues to go by her side, look after her. There's a little mutual liking between them, and she starts to tell him that she has no memory. She doesn't know who she is or what. She's lost it, and he's he's uh he's trying to help her get it back, take her, and maybe she'll remember places, stuff like that. But as this is happening, this man shows up again, and she pretty much it says that's her father. I guess he's real like angry and violent. So I right away thought on this, she's coming from an abusive house, abusive father, whatever. That got me right away, not knowing what's
Mm-hmm.
going on. Uh, anyways, we get fast forward, we get to where they're trying to find out. Batman gets in the picture, and he's trying to find out who this guy is. There's some fight encounters between them, and it's funny because they go to a sewer, and when it lands in the sewer, I'm like, okay, this is Croc, this Killer Croc. I'm like, boy, was I wrong. It's Clayface, and
Woohoo! Love Clayface.
yeah, he's what we get is a flashback scene, which this is another one. Like I'll go dark with where we go back to Freeze, where he doesn't have a body. This got me the same way. Like we find out she's just a freaking clone from Clayface's Clay. He made her, and I'm like, oh my god,
He
this
eats
is body
her.
horror. Are we going are we going Cronenberg here or what? But I'm like,
This episode shook me.
yeah.
I mean, I'll get into it, but
But man, that just got me. I'm like, no wonder she has no memory. She's not even real. And I'm
mm-hmm.
like, and it's pretty sad because like Robin's, they're actually in love. There's even a scene where they kiss. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, how cute or whatever, kids. And she it just builds up the tension. He wants to bring her back, but Clayface wants to bring her back with him, and Robin, like, I guess he's going in denial, and he wants her selfishly to himself, even knowing the situation. So Batman's trying to like teach him what's going on. He doesn't want to listen, and it ends up pretty good battle towards the end. It's pretty sad. Like Robin's left heartbroken. He's really shook. It's young Robin, um, but Batman teaches him kind of like a how would I say it? This is where you see Batman become like his father figure. He's giving him advice, and he's telling him, not everything has a happy ending. He tells him, I think, on one quote, and he's like, he puts his head down. He's kind of guiding him through that. But yeah, this episode I really liked it. It's probably one of my favorite episodes. And Clayface is he keeps like surprising me with how good he is of a villain. I didn't realize how good he was.
I
'Cause I really didn't know nothing about him. Like I seen him in toys, but
Yeah,
I
I had
never
no
knew.
idea. And did I tell you that they're actually talking about having Clayface in the new Batman movie with
I
Lady
heard something like
Gaga?
that.
I was so happy because I've been saying this entire time. I was like, we need a Clayface movie,
Yeah,
like anything, because he's interesting. All the episodes that he's in,
the
it's
story,
amazing.
everything's interesting. Yeah, but yeah, this episode's probably on my top three for sure
Same
of,
here.
of this disc. But yeah, it's we got some Cronenberg in this one.
Oh, yeah. There's a
Yeah,
there's one part I was hinting towards where Clayface, I think Robin's having a nightmare or something, because I don't remember the context, but she's like hanging out with Robin, they're talking, and Clayface like grabs her and starts eating her, and she's like screaming, and I was like, this is happening? Like, this is crazy. And I was like, just
yeah.
shocked at.
She's like going in his body, dude. It's like what the
Yeah, and it's like the mud is like slinging over her and like pulling her down, like into his body. Like it's so creepy. Like I was shocked.
I'm like, this is like a tame version of Society.
Oh god, that's what I like to think about watching animated Batman is Brian Usner's
Yeah, Brian
Society
Usna.
with
Yeah,
effects by Screaming Mad George.
beware of the
Fun for the
talking
whole family.
butthole. Oh man, this episode was a joy. I mean, it so good.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah, same
I don't
here.
know of the whole
Top.
like series, but definitely the disc. Top two, maybe.
Yeah, it's in my top three range for sure. But that's all I got. If you got anything you want to share there,
On to 94.
94. All right, so episode 94, and this one is "Love is a Crock." That's hilarious. Um, this
You
one
got
goes
duped
into
again on
a.
this one, I guess.
I was like singing an '80s song to this. "Love is a crock." When saw the title, but a former child star I have here is she has a condition. She works at this motel. We right away start with this like couple going in to rent a room, and she's right away kind of mysterious. You're like, what? Why is a little girl working the front? Whatever. And they start to question her, and then they find out who she is. She's from like a sitcom show where she played like a
Baby
little girl,
doll.
baby doll, and she has this condition where she stays small. She looks like dwarfism or something like that, whatever it's called. But she this guy just starts to heckle her. He's like a piece of crap. Starts to tease her about everything and just edge her on, and then you see her just go full like the Orphan movie. That's what it reminded me of. She just gets all violent and wants to kill. And I was like, oh, Orphan right here. But no, she's like, I don't know if she what she does is this couple it cuts off, but doesn't look like it was a good thing. Um, so you see that she has a mad side to her. She starts to watch TV. She's watching, and here comes Killer Croc. He's on the news, and he's in a court, like a courtroom being sentenced or whatever. And he's they're making fun of him, calling him a freak show. All this. She starts to really like feel for him because she's in the same boat where she's made fun of, and she's really interested in this, and she sees him like break out, escape. He's fighting, pretty much throwing people off him, assaulting officers, everything, the whole works to get free. And she's like, yeah, cheering for him. Come on, Croc, cheering from the TV, do it. And then he meets up to Batman, of course. Batman defeats him, gets him back and gives him like an injection to control him. And she's sad. Tears are going down her eyes. And she starts an infatuation with Killer Croc. So she helps him pretty much escape. They go kind of like on a Bonnie and Clyde kind of thing. They're robbing casinos, stuff like that. And she finds out that Killer Croc's just using her. He's not really into her. He's abusing her verbally, uh, physically as well. and he's just treating her like dirt. So I mean, she has a crazy side to her, so she starts to snap. You got Batman and Robin trying to crack down and find him. Batgirl as well. Um, but yeah, Killer Croc, he's going out with other women, just and then she hears the conversation where he said he's gonna leave her, and that's when
Oh
she
yeah.
fully turns on him, and pretty much that's the downfall of Killer Croc. You got her got Batman onto it. They capture him. She's she said that all she wanted to do was him for Killer Croc to love her. None of this would have happened or whatever. And it's real interesting. I have it at average episode. I thought it was all right, but interesting. I got orphan vibes from this episode. Not as violent, but yeah, I'd say it's that average level. If you got anything you want to put on this one, I have nothing more to talk about.
I really liked the episode overall. I think it's above average because I really love
Okay.
the emotional connection between Deadly Croc or Killer Croc and Baby Doll. I really love that. Did not like how Croc abandoned her because she was living and thriving. She wasn't a villain. She was working at a hotel. I mean, she was doing pretty well for herself until Croc, I guess, took advantage of her and her kindness because, again, she was just living her life, working. It's not like Joker where, he was given $250 million and he was like, hey, like, I'm getting a new sidekick. Hey, hey, fuck you, Holly. You're in prison. You're worthless. Like, Baby Doll sought Killer Croc. So it's like doubly frustrating that he was like, I'm going to take advantage of your kindness and all that. So that's really it. I do like when she cheers for Killer Croc as he like runs out of the courtroom during his escape.
That
That
was
was pretty
insane.
fun. I really enjoyed that part. Baby almost falls into a deadly fan of blades, and I think
Oh, I
Batman
forgot that.
rescues her. I'm sorry. That was fun. There's not many other points that I remember or wrote down, but just above average. Like daddy, a tiny little hair, a tiny little baby hair.
Yeah, little baby hair.
Not baby
Find
doll's
out it.
hair because she has a full head of hair. But
Finding out she's the orphan afterwards. Pretty crazy.
have you ever seen the sequel or the prequel? I guess
Yeah, I have.
is it good?
Uh it's good. I like the original better, but
Mm-hmm.
the first one, I can't say original, but it's good. It's different. It's a different take on it.
I heard it was like more funny. Is it?
More funny and more action revengey than type of
I
film.
think I remember hearing that.
Yeah.
I just haven't put in any effort to watching it. Although I did really love the original, but
The original's good. This one's worth the watch too. I liked it.
it's the same actress too, right?
Yeah.
Hmm. Because she really nailed it.
Yeah,
Because
she's still
she's
good in
like
this one.
in her 40s now, I think. So she was in her 30s, or I guess late 20s in the original. So it's kind of shocking.
Yeah, years later, she I would watch it. It's worth the watch. I recommend it. I mean, it's different. I'm just gonna say that.
Cool. I wonder if it's on Shutter Outlook. But
I don't know.
how how about
I watched it on
episode
Paramount
95?
Plus.
Oh, did you?
That's where I
I don't
watched it.
have that.
Yeah. Okay, we're on episode 90. Which one is it? 90,
95.
95. All right, this is a Torch Song. This is pretty much about a singer, Cassidy. She's like a pop singer, something like that. She's real popular, and right away off the bat, you see that she has well, what I thought right away is jealous boyfriend because he's really pestering her, putting her down, and he he's very violent towards her. It's real. I'm like right away abusive relationships. What I thought, And you see her them arguing, fighting backstage. She gets on stage, she's doing her performance. You could tell she's real popular, big crowd. And you see this guy like purposely just ruin her show, and he's like a producer on the side or something like that, and he just puts like on the stage like pretty much fire to burn her alive, which is real dark. And he turns it on, she's like trapped in the middle. You see Bruce Wayne and in the crowd, Batgirl, they're well, Barbara, I should say, Barbara Gordon. They're not in costume, and they're enjoying the concert, and you could tell he wants to like pretty much help her. He's in sinful laughter going through towards her, and I'm like, this guy's a total psycho. Um, and he
Is that what the subtitle said? Sinful laughter.
yeah, I should have been called that, sinful laughter.
I would love to be that on the subtitles.
Yeah, I think that was in my head, not the subtitle, but
That's a good band name, actually. Sinful laughter.
sinful laughter sounds like you could sell some tickets for sure. Uh, yeah, well, it turns out it's her producer, and he's a, I think, ex-boyfriend that got really obsessed with her, and she like canceled him. He can't get over her. He's stalking her, and he, he's just one of those that's like, I could say, a stalker pretty much. But he it leads up to him getting obsessed with fire, and he this is where I love this. He becomes Firefly. This is a villain I knew from the video games,
Hmm.
so this got me excited.
I may have fought him, but I have no memory. I didn't even write it down. This was, yeah, I'll get into it, but.
Yeah, he's mechanical. He flies. Um, he shoots out fire. He has a gun that has flames, stuff like that. And his weapon is fire. He's burning up, I mean, everything in this episode, just trying to destroy. And Batman, as he turns to fight him as well. Um, this is real cool. It has like a real, like, I don't know. I used to watch those '80s cartoons where they had like the bands and the singers, and it reminded me a lot of that. It had a real retro feel to it. But it's really cool because Batman puts on one of these fire suits in this episode, and I mean, it's gray and black. It has the shiny silver on the bat, and
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that is an awesome suit. I've never seen that. And he battles him with his own weaponry, like his own. It's a fireproof suit, so he turns it on him. But overall, a very interesting episode. I really liked it. I put it at above average. Like I said, it gave me that retro feel to it, like I was watching an '80s cartoon. So I really liked that. And I was Saturday mornings in front of the TV with my cereal.
Mm-hmm.
Gave me that flashback of this. So I'll put it at above average. Really liked it. Story to villain. The villain story. Okay, I'm talking backwards here. Was pretty interesting. But yeah, that's all I got on this one. You have anything you want to share there?
So I mentioned, I think Wednesday or Tuesday, probably Tuesday when I started, that I had watched most of my episodes, and I fell asleep 2 episodes before I finished mine, and I woke up during this episode. So 5 episodes played while I was asleep, and this is the one that I did not go back and rewatch because I came in about halfway through the episode. I was so out of my element. I had no idea what was going on. I didn't know the fire guy. I don't even remember the fire guy because I woke up, finished the episode, went to bed, and it was like 1 a.m., I think, is when that happened. So maybe I need to rewatch it, but
Need to go back and check this one out.
so I said it was pretty good what I watched. But I need to rewatch it, I guess, at some point in my life when I revisit these. But
yeah, this one was fun. Had a blast with it. Um, Anything else you got there? That's all I got.
I do not.
All right. So we're on episode 96.
Whoop.
All right. This is the ultimate thrill, and this one is
Is it?
no. I'm gonna be honest.
Great timing, yeah.
Okay, this is a villain called Roxy Rocket, and she's like a stunt woman for movies. She likes to live on the edge. She likes the thrill of adrenaline thrill of like putting herself in danger and stuff on stunts. and she's doing this throughout the episode. Um, Batman tries to pretty much calm her down and put her, and she takes this as a competition because he's doing his acrobatic stuff. So she kind of gets like I'd say a kick out of it. She likes it, and she starts to like flirt with Batman in this weird way. Like it's actually like, how would you say it? Like it's a turn on for her, this stuff. Like that's what gets her going or whatever. These
Mm-hmm.
dangerous situations, stuff like that. But
Adrenaline junkie.
yeah. So she tests Batman with it. Batman puts his detective work to the test here, and he finds out that she's working with someone else, and it's the Penguin, of course. He's
Mm-hmm.
low key
Oh,
working with her,
I totally
and
forgot that.
there's interactions between them after hours at his club. And he wants nothing to do. He says, if you get Batman in here, I'm out of here. I don't want nothing to do with him. I'm legit. I know I'll end up in jail again if he comes after me. So it goes back and forth with that. She crosses the line with the Penguin where he doesn't trust her anymore. So this is a pretty interesting scene. He throws her in a water with like alligators or some kind of reptile, and they're trying to eat him. Eat her, and she's like, it's a real dangerous situation. Like I thought she was a goner, but she has a way of getting out of there. And yeah, it's just a back and forth with Roxy and Batman and Penguin like as a side character. To, this didn't give me the entertainment I needed. I'd say it's probably my below average episode, my first one, which I really didn't. I couldn't get into for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah, nothing too appealing in this one. Penguin's real tame. You don't really get him going crazy or anything like that. But
Yeah, on top of
yeah,
yeah, on top of the puns tonight. You're saying the
um,
penguin's tamed, and
that's
then
not Penguin.
and there was something just now before that you said that cracked me up. You keep hitting with these puns, man.
I don't know, man. I guess it's just I don't know, these episodes, just the way I felt. I guess I don't know. Just
Yeah, I thought this one was pretty interesting. Was all I wrote. I vaguely
mhm.
remember Penguin being involved. I don't remember the woman at all. Like, I don't even have an image of her in my head. That's how, like, just okay, not even okay, just. It's very. I don't want to say bland, but it's fine.
Mhm. It's like if you brought in a B movie Catwoman. That's what she was to me.
Yeah.
Like like a bootleg Catwoman.
Like, there's a few scenes here and there that are fun, but for the most part, there's just no engagement that I have with it. So,
Yeah, you see Catwoman and Batman. They have more chemistry than these two had. I thought. Well, because she's likable but dangerous. That's a Catwoman trope.
mm-hmm.
So repetitive, is how I'd put it.
Yeah. Again, we're on episode 90, whatever. Like, we've seen a lot of this.
Yeah.
I'd love to do the math real quick of how long these episodes, or how long we've been doing this. 20 times 96, I think. Well, I'll do 98. Divided by 60. We've watched about 32 hours of this show.
Wow.
So, I guess that math is
Yeah.
easy because almost
Going on
100. But
2 days of our lives watching these. Almost.
it's not too bad, actually. Come think of
No,
it.
it's entertaining, man.
Because when we do watch it, it's a lot at once. The issue is that holidays and shit.
Yeah. Holidays and scheduling. It's always a pain in the ass. But let's go on to episode 97.
Yep.
Or did I
And I have no notes for the rest of these. I don't know if I watched them or not. I have no recollection, but I have nothing.
I got
so.
some down. Like it's basic notes. Like I said, nothing special. But this one's called "Over the Edge." Reminded me of a Aerosmith song. Oh, Living on the Edge, something
Yep.
like that. But it's a this one's a dark one. I want to get into this one. This one's interesting.
Oh dang! I
Um,
should have watched this.
we got
If I did not.
this starts out straight up like Commissioner and Gordon and Bullock trying to pretty much kill Batman and Robin. They're trying to kill him,
Oh my
and I'm
gosh.
like, what? They're like chasing him, shooting at him, and they're running, and they just invade the whole Wayne Manor, dude. Just like tear it down. And I'm like, what? Search warrant for Batman or what?
I need to watch
And
this. What the fuck?
yeah, and it's crazy because I'm like, what happened to Gordon? Is he bad or what? And this is very dark. There's a scene where I think he's about to even kill Bruce Wayne. Gordon and Alfred saves him, pretty much jumps in the way and saves him out of the way. If I remember that, yeah. You got him on a boat. They're pretty much about to die. You got the whole police department after him, and the water, and Nightwing comes up and just saves them. Like he comes out of nowhere and just saves them. I'm like, oh man, this is pretty crazy. I was like, what's going on? Batman a villain? Like he's living up to that vigilante name in this one. He's hated. They're calling for him, and then you're like, what's going on here? It's dark. Um, and then we get to the flashback. They end up in this like tunnel cave where they're hiding, Batman and Robin, and they're like, I can't believe this happened. It's a misunderstanding or something. It goes to a flashback of what happened. So we got Batgirl, who's they're fighting Scarecrow returns here. So they're fighting Scarecrow, and he comes out of nowhere, and Batgirl and him are fighting on a building, and Scarecrow throws her off the building, and Batgirl dies. I was like, this is dark. She's like dead, and Gordon and them go running, and that's of course Gordon's daughter, and he has no idea she was Batgirl. So
Oh
he
yeah.
he hates Batman for this, like hates him. So you
All
just
this
see like
time.
I say now I know why he's going completely psychotic towards Batman. And he's like, nothing's bringing my daughter back. Oh, I want justice. He's calling the force, get him, get Batman, get. I'm like, wow, this is dark, but you get them on the run. Nightwing makes a run for them. They capture him, so you see him like in police headlines where they're bringing him in, and Batman's like, this is it. I got to turn myself in. It's over. And Robin's like, no, we need to fight it. And you just see Batman completely broken in this one. He's like, I'm turning myself in, and then you find out Gordon unleashes that Batman's Bruce Wayne. So everyone in Gotham knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman. So it's like the big reveal mystery's out.
Gosh, I should have watched
Even the
this.
villains are like they have like they're like on like a Dr. Phil episode, all the villains. And they're like, yeah, I have trauma from Batman. He did a lot of stuff to me. I still can't get over the trauma that he's put me in. I wouldn't be this way if it wasn't for Batman. They're like all turning on him.
Oh, Choka, the guy who fell into a vat of like nuclear waste and lost his
Yeah.
mind. Oh, it's
Like,
Batman's. Oh, okay.
none of this would have happened, Batman wasn't around. And uh I was like, they captured Batman. Um oh no, Commissioner Gordon can't get Batman, so he goes to a criminal. He goes to Arkham Asylum and releases Bane to go get Batman. He's like, I don't care, get him. You'll get I'll let you free. And Kane's like, I do this for free. Bane, I'm saying Kane. Bane says, I do this for free. And so he goes, and there's a nice battle between Bane and Batman on a rooftop. It's where the bat symbol's at. And Bane just gets the bat symbol and throws it at Batman, like to
Oh.
crush him. And Gordon's just standing there, like waiting for Batman to like die. It's he's like, get him,
What
and
did I
then
miss?
he's like, about this is dark, but he's about to pretty much kill Batman, and Gordon like fires his gun, like that's enough. And Bane's like, no, I'm killing him. That's what I came here to do. And so now Gordon has to jump in. They're both fighting Bane, and he's just gone completely psychotic. And Batman destroys him, of course, destroys Bane, and it's it goes all into this, and I'm like, I'm with my jaw open, like, what the fuck is happening? Like, you don't see this in a television episode, like maybe a dark. And I was like, this is the darkest episode I've seen. And then we get like this twist, man. It's just turns out it was all a nightmare from Batgirl. She's on the fear from Scarecrow.
Oh, that's not
and they
fun.
haven't.
Oh, Scarecrow. Okay, that's not bad. As bad, but
But this kind of like ruined it for me in a way. I was like, come on, you could have kept. But it's like this is where I said, ah, come on, you're gonna tease me with this. It's just all a dream, and you got Batgirl and in the Batcave, and they're trying to get her out of her fear dreams or whatever. And that was her whole dream.
well, now I don't want to watch
Yeah, that's the.
it.
This episode could have been like so, like could have been my favorite of the whole thing till that happened. And I'm like, you're gonna leave me there.
Yeah, I hate it when movies and shows do that. It's like,
So
okay, what a cop out.
yeah, that's a cop out for sure. But the whole story's great. You watch the episode, you'll be like, oh yeah.
I'll turn it
But
off
then
before she wakes up.
when she wakes up, you're like, oh really?
I'll
And
go,
that's how I
oh,
get it.
cliffhanger, and I'll turn it off.
She's not dead. I'm like, oh no. And then it has this like heartful speech between her and Gordon at the end where she's like, I haven't told you everything, Dad, or whatever. And he's like, it doesn't even break it out. He's like, I'm just happy where you're working as long as you're happy. She doesn't know that. He doesn't know his daughter's a crazy vigilante at night or whatever.
So she doesn't
But
tell him?
she never tells him.
Come
He's like,
on.
you don't need to tell me
That
as
would have
long
been
as you're
great.
happy.
I mean, it makes sense for a show where it's not like episode by episode you have story, but like it's the last season. Come on,
Yeah.
go all the way.
I was saying they ain't messing around here towards the end, man. They're going all out till the twist at the end. I was like, oh, come on. Really? You had me totally invested in this episode till that. Because you want to see Batman. He's not always going to be like the hero. He's kind of an anti-hero at times too. Like
Yeah, one of
he
my
has that.
favorite episodes was when Batman is like knocked out, and the one working mother like brings him, or her kids or her son and his friends are bullied, and the Batmobile is like outside their house, and like there's no Batman the entire episode. Like it was one of my favorite episodes. I
Yeah.
like the ones where Batman is like out of commission and someone new has to figure it out, whatever's going on.
Yeah. Yeah. This one was great till the end, but yeah, I gotta say I'm gonna give it above average for the story, but it didn't hit that perfect mark because that cop out ending. But you got any thoughts on this? Or I know you didn't really put notes or watch it, but
Yeah, I don't think I watched it. I have no
oh
memory. But again, I have no memory. Maybe I watched it and I just did not write anything down, or I forgot to write anything down. I don't know.
yeah,
But it sounds interesting. I do want to watch it eventually, maybe before I die, for sure. But I don't know when. But it sounds great. I mean, I'll just shut it off and but when she wakes up. But
that's the best thing to do. I was blown away by it, blown away till that freaking. I got so angry with the ending. I was like, "You're gonna really leave it at this? Come on!" And then I said, "I get it. It's a TV show. They're not gonna go that dark."
imagine if that was the last episode. Just
Could have been.
that
I
would
would have
have
been like
dropped a
satisfied.
bombshell.
You're like Batman and Robin are on the run. What the fuck?
Batgirl's dead. Whoa. Gordon hates Batman. Oh.
The villains are getting therapy.
Finally.
Finally.
Instead of being locked up in creepy goth Arkham Asylum.
And it's dark because
with a little cemetery gate at the front of it. Like,
there's even signs when they're arresting Nightwing, like bring the bat in, bring him to, you know, it's dark. It goes that dark route.
was there anything else? I guess there is one episode left. 98.
Was there one?
Yeah. Main
Oh shit!
seasons.
I don't think I got that one.
At least I
Here.
thought that was 13. 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 2. $13, right? 7 and 6.
I might have missed one, man, because I only got 12 here.
Well, that works out because on the next disc there are only 11 episodes. So
Okay. Oh, I think I missed that one.
I'll let you
I
cover
don't know
main
how.
seasons then,
Okay.
and then the next 5 episodes, and then I'll do the last 6. So that works out great then, because we'll both have 6 left to do for next
Yeah, it'll be
episode.
even. Yeah.
That's like perfect.
I completely missed that. I don't know how.
Technically, you didn't, because you'll cover it next time, but
Yeah. Make
um,
up for it.
it works out because that's what I was looking up earlier. Because I was like, wait, how many episodes? Because I knew there's 104 episodes roughly. Because it's definitely not 110, so there's not 13 episodes left. So I was like, So if you saw me typing earlier, that's why, and I figured it out.
I completely missed that one, that last episode.
That's fine.
Oh,
It's okay.
all right. I was like, am on my notes the end right after that.
Trying to think.
I
Is there
did.
anything else that we want to talk about before we leave?
Mm, nah, I just got to say about the Batman series that it's really evolved.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like a superstar season we're watching now. Like you
Yeah,
get like groups and it's you could tell it's going all out as it's going to end. It's just how would you say it? Throwing all your cards on the deck on the table, man.
yeah, they're
Put it
not
out.
holding back anything at all.
Mhm. So I'm excited for that last disc. See where it goes.
Yeah, because season 1 was like 40 something episodes, and we were like, okay, like let's get it done, like because
Yeah,
I mean we talked about behind the scenes how it was a huge success, so they had season 1 just kept going, and they finally had to end it. But
yeah,
season 2 was really short. That was like what 20 episodes maybe, and this one's even
yeah.
short. I guess not shorter, 24 episodes, but yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Me too.
I'm happy to be closing in now. So
Yeah, same here. I'm glad we're going through it though. I had to revisit these because I haven't seen them in so many years. It was due.
I've never seen them, so
And like I said,
it's
it could have
really
been
exciting.
random ones. I was a kid, just when you watch them, just whatever's on's on. So I
Yeah,
didn't watch them all.
it would be
So
interesting to find. I mean, it's impossible, but it would be fun to somehow time travel and kind of compare what you thought of these episodes then and
yeah,
what you think now. There's no way to do it now,
yeah,
but that would be fun if we had a time traveling machine.
yeah. See a flashback of me flying off the couch with a blanket, thinking I'm Batman.
Yes. Fall and you break your leg.
Yeah, got no medical insurance, damn it.
Okay, well, I think that is it for this episode. This was really great. Didn't go on too long, which is nice. I always think about the old Zatuichi episodes when we had like 4 hours of footage I had to fucking edit, but this is really great. Thank you for coming back onto the channel to do this episode. We're almost done. It was so
Almost
exciting.
there. Thanks again, Christian, for having me, man. It's always a blast, and we're getting down to that final disc. I look forward to it and see what we have in store coming up.
Thank you everyone for watching, and please have a great rest of the weekend.